Alright, so going into the K1WJ antenna farm. Kind of ugly, but effective. Anyways, this first one here, you can see it's on a tripod. Try to run as little coax as you can to the antenna. It'll save on efficiency. Got some chokes on it. Might not totally be necessary, but there nonetheless. As you can see, the beads. This is the bracket for the K1WJ quarter wave vertical. Now this particular one has a buddy pull coil. You can see roughly where it's tapped in. There's a single radial that runs along, is being held up by the bucket. Now each one of these is a quarter wave vertical electrically. Now this 40-meter one is probably only about 18 feet in vertical length. Now the radio, on the other hand, is going to be a full-size quarter wave radio. So I believe you start out around 33 feet or so. And there's a bucket and an insulator on the end of it. You can see how the connector here goes on the antenna. Hopefully you can see that. Very simple 14 gauge wire. And these have been out here for a couple years, so they will withstand the elements. Do a SWR curve on your antennas, and if there's any shifts, you will be able to detect them. Anyways, here is the 20-meter vertical. Same situation. This one actually is a full-size quarter wave vertical. No coils. Approximately 16.5 feet vertical height. One single radial, again around 16.5 feet. You can see how I'm coming out of the house there, just keeping the window slightly open, and got some towels and plastic and different things to stop mostly dust here in Arizona from coming through. Anyways, as we come through here to see how the radials are held up, you can see any tripod or a bucket with a 4-foot, 5-foot dowel. I would say try to keep your radials at least 4 feet off the ground or higher. Again, this one here is a 17-meter vertical, telescoping whip, full-size quarter wave radial. I want to say approximately 13.5 feet, whereas the 20-meter would be 16.5. The 40-meter is around 33 for the respective radial sizes. Insulator on the end, held on however you want. This right here is the 10-meter quarter wave vertical, 102-inch whip with the spring on it. And if actually I did trim off a little bit off of the top of it, but I ended up having to add a spring to actually get it to resonate where I wanted it to. So on the 102-inch whip, in theory I shouldn't have cut it. So anyways, that was fully rectified. Again, this is a full quarter wave antenna, approximately 8.5 feet vertical height, and again, one single radial, 4 feet off the ground, 8.5 feet in length. And over here we just have a sagging, but I think it's a GP3 Comet 2-meter 440. I'm not active on 440, but 2 meters FM. And I need to come up here and make it a little more vertical. Right now she sagged a bit, but this is an HOA environment in Arizona. Oh, it's actually just the pole itself. A couple rocks under the bucket will fix that. Anyways, these are highly portable HOA antennas set up here. I've had 4 HF antennas back here for a few years. No complaints, nobody's saying anything. Now, if there was a complaint, I could basically have all these elements off of the tripods and below the fence line in probably oh, give me 5 minutes each, and that would be pushing it. It'd probably be more like 10 minutes. I could have all these things totally not to be seen from the street. So it's really not a permanent fixture. As you can see, it's quite portable. If you do not put some kind of bracing or bricks or something here to anchor yourself down on the tripods themselves for the antenna vertical sections, when the wind blows, you may blow over. But with this, I have had no blowovers. And I'm going to say these blocks probably weigh 15 pounds each. I don't know. I'm not quite sure about that. The tripods, you can get MFJ 6-foot tripods, or what all 4 of these quarter wave verticals are on. Holding up the radio side, hey, use wood, use a fence, use old camera tripods, whatever works. Anyways, this is how it's done. Quarter wave verticals. You talk around the world with them. Get a lot of stateside contacts. Also, all my radials are bearing westerly, so in theory I might have just a unnoticeable amount of gain in the westerly direction. Of course, the SWR is not an issue on any of the full-size quarter wave antennas, 10, 17, or 20. The 40 meter, yeah, you need an antenna tuner, but I can talk local West Coast, NVIS, I guess they'd call it. You can get into California in the local Southwest area with just that setup there. So anyways, it's K1WJ. Got a couple other things I need to get rid of back here, like a old oil bucket and whatnot. But anyways, this is K1WJ. If you have any questions on quarter wave verticals, single radio systems, how to set them up, how to tune them, it's relatively simple. Take 468, divide it by the frequency that you're using in megahertz, and then divide that number by 2, and you will get quarter wave lengths for your verticals and your radials. And always start long, not short. Run as little coax as possible to get the job done, because I'm only running 100 watts into these. But, you know, why run 100 feet of coax when you only need, let's say, 25? You just gained yourself a little stronger signal out there on the airwaves. So anyway, 73's K1WJ. So long.